Activate defenses.
Activate defenses.
Commence countdown.
10 minutes and counting.
9 minutes and counting. 8 minutes and counting. 7 minutes and counting.
6 minutes and counting.
5 minutes and counting. 4 minutes and counting. 3 minutes and counting. 2 minutes and counting.
1 minute and counting.
40 seconds and counting. 10, 9, 8.
Hello, David Zritsky for the Bond Experience. Welcome back. It's Tuesday. What the heck are we drinking on Tuesday? Has it been that type of a week already that we need to have a happy hour? For me, it has. I'm just speaking for myself. How's everybody out there? Let me see who's in the chat room. Oh my gosh, we've got Black Coffee. Well, all right, DTUK. I'm just happy you're here. We've got Joe Hahn. What's going on? What is this? What are we talking? I have no idea. It's not like the thumbnail said what it was. We've got, hey, what's going on? Look at this. It's like old homecoming now. We've got the Bond Armory. Ray, just heard you the other day. Ray on Blunt Instruments. Got pretty blunt. We've got Alex Lamas, who goes to the opening of an envelope. He goes to everything. Thank you for being here. We've got Mark Marshall, and a host of many people. Welcome to the Bond Style Happy Hour. It is, I'm reticent to say part two or it's a series because who knows when these are just going to end in kind of mayhem. But, ladies and gentlemen, bear with me because I've got this ice cold Bond Experience merchandise bullet shaker. I'm going to shake this puppy up because for Spectre, I've got a dirty martini. All right. Got a little bit of olives, a little bit of tiny juice in here. And this thing, seriously, look at this. Look at it. This is not special effects. That is icy cold. What is everybody drinking out there as I mix this up? What is everybody drinking? Alexander Dion, it's your first live chat. Greetings from Quebec, not Quebec. What are you drinking? That's what I want to know for your very first happy hour. Congratulations. Who has their mixing sippy straws to drink out of? Those are popular. And I'm spilling all over my desk. It's a perfect way to start. All right, hold on a second. I got to pour this without too much damage and mayhem because I want to toast all of you for showing up on a Tuesday to talk about Bond style, specifically Spectre. Now, Bollinger. Boomer, you're drinking Bollinger? Baller. Total baller. Vitamin water, says John. Very nice. Blackwell rum, Kevin Rose, very nice. All right, you guys went all out, and I went all out too because I've got a host of different people to talk about the different styles of Spectre, and it's going to be an interesting one because Spectre is it's not often regarded as one of the best Bond films by many people, but the clothing tend to be a go-to by many people. We're going to see if it stood the test of time. Have these things, have they improved now that we've seen No Time to Die? Are they kind of waning? What's the keep? What's the kill? What's the marry? Whoa, Tim Hands, you're going crazy, buddy. Hot chocolate, that's insane. This deep V is out of control. It is going to swallow my entire martini on its own. That's how deep this puppy is. But listen, I can't do this alone. You know how this goes. I need you in the chat room to talk. And don't forget, we're going to have a cool contest with prizes at the end. But before we do that, let us introduce some of the players for tonight. First of all, hailing all the way from the closet, the Bond's closet, and very often a blunt instrument to himself, Luke Taggart from Bond's apartment.
I was like, a closet? I'm not in a closet. Also, the opening of an envelope thing for Alex.
Was that perfect?
Oh, I was laughing. That was good.
Yeah.
It's nice to be here. Thanks for having me, David.
No, you know what? I wouldn't have it any other way. And now I almost forgot to say, I'm wearing the matchless jacket. I've got the Tom Ford incredibly deep V, and I'm wearing the Omega Spectre watch. Sir, what are you wearing tonight to represent?
I am wearing the N-Peel cable knit sweater from the Mr. White scene. And of course, my trusty GoldenEye Omega Seamaster. Boomer, what's up, buddy?
Very nice. And
you look fantastic as usual.
Luke is rocking the turtleneck. That's a pretty new piece for you, isn't it?
It is. This is the second time wearing it.
That's it.
This is it. I love it. I do love it, but
It was kind of like a holy grail for you to get, right?
I wanted it for a long time, yeah, and I think I never really got it because I haven't really been to NPL in person in a while. I haven't been to New York in a while or anywhere. Alex, come on, man. I'm trying to think here, Alex. I've wanted it for a while, but I hadn't seen it in person until being at your place, and then picked up the commando sweater, so got a little more familiar with NPL's sizing, and then made the plunge.
Nice, nicely done. Thank you, Bond. Double XL. I know. I feel like Lady Gaga with the navel showing. But here's the thing, Luke. You and I could muster this up, but it's going to be so much more fun as a party. And every party needs an individual who goes to every party, and that every party person is Kyle. What's going on, Kyle?
I won't be long.
Oh, I like that.
Look, you stole my sweater.
I did steal it. Yeah, it looked good on you, so I stole it.
Well, it's looking very nice on you as well.
Thank
But
you.
wait a minute, Kyle. You dressed to impress tonight. What are you wearing?
I've celebrated a little bit. I really, spoiler, admire the style of this film. So I have on the first thing we see Bond wearing in Spectre, which is the Tom Ford Mexico City suit with the coordinating Tom Ford tie, and my old faithful Aquaterra.
Oh my gosh.
It's similar to the one that he wears in Spectre. This is the one from Skyfall.
All right. So you're enjoying some overdue vacation. What are you drinking while enjoying that vacation?
Well, I'm in Mexico City, so it had to be tequila. This is
wow. Is
That
that
a
cold?
boy.
It is just fresh out of the freezer, Don Julio Reposado.
And you're drinking it straight, I assume.
Of course.
Very nice.
That a boy.
Bottoms up.
Lots of compliments coming.
Roger's
Damn, that's
there.
a nice turtleneck. People are admiring the fashions. We haven't even gotten to the PowerPoint yet, which is crazy. But here's the thing, guys. Clear the way. Chat room, please, on one knee, if you don't mind. The absolute king of style and fashion in the Bond community, Mr. Matt Spazer.
Hey, how you guys doing? What are you all doing here?
What? I didn't. What?
Your
Where did
wife
you come
invited
from?
us. Your wife invited us over, but you're not opening the door. So
Yeah, we're in your hallway.
Oh yeah, I didn't hear the doorbell.
so first of all, Matt, what are you drinking tonight? What are you wearing? You're always impeccably dressed.
Okay, well I just have a glass of water for now.
Nice.
But so I'm wearing something that you picked out for me, David. This is an NPL polo sweater. And so I wore it because it's the same fumo gray as what Luke is wearing.
Yes.
And it's also, so it's a very classic Spectre color, and it also has a somewhat deep V. Not quite as deep as what you're wearing, David, but
Dude, this is like I'm trying to tuck the shirt back.
we don't have any way to button it.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks good, man. You look good. You look healthy.
Yeah.
You ready for this discussion today? Because I know you're gonna jump on this like white on rice, right?
Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting. But here's the thing, gang. And by the way, Luke, what are you drinking?
I am drinking beer, but as we speak, somebody who is saying, I'm not coming on the camera. Don't worry. Today, I don't think you're invited. Just handed me
She's always invited.
some Blackwell rum with ice. So
You should marry her.
Started. I am going to marry her. Thank you very much.
Jeez,
Love you too.
I'll tell you what. Everybody's having a good time with this for sure. So, all right, check this out. We are going to jump right in, but before we do that, I'm mixing things up tonight. I've invited a person who I've been enjoying his content, but he's recently done some Spectre stuff with me, and I couldn't think of a better one of these live streams to invite. So, ladies and gentlemen, all the way across the pond, super late at night, so he had to take a nap today, and he had to get permission to stay up this late. We have Mark from Views.
Hey,
Greetings. Hello, everybody.
nice to see you, pal.
Lovely to see you too.
Looking
great to
fantastic.
be here. Yeah,
I
thank
love
you. You too.
You got the sunglasses on at night too.
I know. Well, there's I need these boring story light sensitivity, but I'm always reminded of there's an early episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm where I think it's Larry David saying, who wears sunglasses indoors, blind people and assholes. Well, I'm not blind, so you can make what you want of that, but there you go.
We knew.
What an
We knew
addition.
already.
He's
Now,
already killing it.
He is killing it. Now you followed kind of Luke with the higher neck thing, but what exactly are you wearing?
Well, I'm wearing the mock turtleneck. Now, you see, I was debating wearing the grey fumo as well, and I actually have it because I wasn't sure what Luke was going to be wearing. So I thought, seeing as you just got that, you may well be wearing it. So I've gone for the grey mock turtleneck, which I rewatched Spectre today, and I only realised that he wears two versions of this in the film. So I'm sure we'll cover that off later. But so I'm wearing that and the Spectre watch, of course.
So, by the way, people have noticed that it does look a little like Hollywood Squares now. I'm fine with that because you know what? These happy hours are really about as if we opened up a pub and we invited everybody in to have a drink and talk about fashion. Now, Mark, what are you drinking there? Is that?
I'm drinking. It's a bit of a random one, but Calvados. So this.
That was the guy from Clash of the Titans that looked like a devil, right?
It may well be.
That's
Well be.
Calvados.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. I'll take your word for that. But yeah, I'm drinking Calvados today because I had it in the cupboard, and it's a bit different. So.
Well, listen, this compliment from Tim Hands, totally uncalled for. 5 gentlemen on screen, all with quite exquisite style. That is why I've invited them on here, because we are going to have a discussion. Could be a debate. But it's going to be going back in time to 2015. Yes, No Time to Die is in the rearview mirror. And because of that, we are going to take a look at the fashion. Wait for it. There's all these new things on my, there's all these new things on my laptop with these new functions. Whoops, we're going too fast. All right, gentlemen, please tell me you see that.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
It's on my screen.
That's a good sign. All right. So let's start in the beginning because, although this is not something we would run out of the house with, we still got to talk about it as a look for Bond. And listen, we're going to start off with Matt Spazer on this because technically there is kind of a suit going on there. What's going on there, Matt?
Yeah, it's a long coat. I mean, it's like a long suit jacket, almost what he's wearing with a shirt and tie. It's a really clever look. I think it's just the most fashionable way you can wear a skeleton suit.
Yes.
I mean, I think it's fantastic. It's a really great disguise. I mean, the mask, the top hat, it's really just, such a great way for Bond to wear a disguise.
Mm-hmm.
It follows kind of suit. It kind of follows suit, some of the great disguises. Roger Moore used to wear a lot of disguises. For example, to me, this kind of harkens back. Kyle, you've technically, which we'll get to, kind of wearing the undersuit of this outfit. But what do you think of this whole look?
I agree with what you and Matt just said. The reason I like this one is we haven't seen Daniel Craig's Bond wear disguises too often. But in this case, he's wearing one that reminds me of some of the Connery and Moore films. So it's a classic Bond thing to try and blend into the crowd, steal an enemy uniform. That's kind of what he's doing here. I think it's really neat. And quite frankly, it makes me want to see the new Day of the Dead festival that they created to mimic the film.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we got a question from, and anybody can jump in and answer this, but Nicholas Slayton asks, is this the first time we've seen Bond in a hat since A View to a Kill?
Well, no, he has also has a top hat in License to Kill as part of the wedding.
You have this weird synapse fire that goes on with the sartorial fashion. It is insane.
I try.
But I love it.
I mean, there could be another.
There is. Bond also wears his naval commander's cap in Tomorrow Never Dies.
Well, is a cap a hat?
Well, now we're getting into semantics.
It is.
Yeah, now the gloves are coming off. I mean, if anybody in this panel is going to be a hat expert, it's the guy with the hat poster.
I mean, the only thing that's not a hat is a yarmulke. That's it. That's where you draw the line. Mark, your view. I know you hate this outfit.
I don't hate this outfit. I think it's kind of daytime sneaky Bond, isn't it? I think as you kind of allude to there, it's kind of, he's clearly in disguise, obviously, with the mask and the hat and everything else that's going on. But it's a great kind of precursor for what's to come and what we see in the rest of this scene, when he kind of changes. And I was surprised, actually, watching it again today. I've picked up on so many things that I think I missed the first time or second or third time round. But even like the way that the shirt here is fitted, I don't know, I was imagining when he was getting changed that it would be unbuttoning, but it seems like, I don't know, Velcro or something, I don't know. But it works. It's good.
He
like
shops at Chippendales. That's why he was able to rip it off very quickly. But it is
Makes
his
sense.
badass moment because she literally jumps on the bed, looks away, and then suddenly we've got arguably one of the most and Luke, you take this one. Arguably one of the most badass walking Bond suit moments, maybe of the entire Craig arc. What do you think?
Well, I'm glad you started with me because if you started with Kyle, he hates this suit.
Can't
that
stand
would
it.
have been a dumb move. That would have been a rookie mistake. This I'll put this as simply as possible. This is hands down, without a doubt, my favorite suit in the entire franchise. And when I say that, I don't mean the fit. I just mean the suit itself.
Yeah,
Bang.
I totally agree. And Kyle, obviously a fan. There was a moment when you saw this, and then a moment not shortly thereafter that you bought the suit. Talk to us about the journey from one to the other.
I'm surprised that you remember this story because it happened. When did Spectre come out? Like 25 years ago now?
30.
The first day that you and I met face to face, and I had been shopping in Neiman Marcus in the King of Prussia Mall. Like, introduced myself to David later on at another event and told him, like, hey, they've got the Spectre suit over at Neiman Marcus and the Tom Ford. And we spoke about that for a little bit. And then later on, a few drinks got into me and we were with some other friends and we went back to the store and I tried on the suit. And I don't know if it was a combination of the champagne and the single malts, but once I saw it on me, I knew that I wasn't going home without that suit.
And I remember you getting it. You were giddy. And I think it's still probably one of your best suits today. It fits you so well. And
It is.
But listen, we've got to go. This isn't all going to be sunshine and roses. That's not how life works. That's not how these work. Matt.
Yeah.
This may be a testimony of the suits in general of this film, but let's hear your perception of the suit.
Well, I've been keeping an eye on the comments. A lot of people are saying about, is this suit too tight? And I think Robert is right. It is too tight. I mean, you can see that just the trousers just aren't letting his legs bend. It doesn't fit across his chest. He can't move very comfortably in it. I think that's you have to be able to move comfortably in a suit. If you can't do that, it's not a well-fitting suit. We don't need to talk about this for every single suit in the film because they just about all have the same issue. Mm-hmm. We can see the white of his shirt underneath the button. That's not a very good look.
That's not good.
But overall, I mean, just the way that Kyle wears it, it makes the suit look perfect.
Aww.
And I think it's a fantastic suit, as Luke said. It's just I think it has a lot going for it. The pattern is just fantastic. Mm-hmm. And I like how he wears just solid ties in this film. The solid blue tie is classic Bond. It goes so well with the look. Now, Kyle, I have a question for you. So the color of this suit looks a lot different in real life than it does in the film, doesn't it?
It does. It's much more vibrant in person than it is in the film. It's kind of washed out by that sepia tone filter that they put over the cameras for this scene to give it, I guess, they're trying to make it look deserty and Mexican.
But no, I don't think that's the case because they put this filter over every scene, including the snowy ones.
That's
so
true.
It looks like, I think they just dropped the whole film in the latrine.
They did. They dipped it in to try to create, Mendes says, to try to create continuity of story, but story should create continuity of story, not a filter.
Yeah. I like that.
But by the way, when you see behind the scenes shots of this, you can see the vibrancy behind it.
Yes.
Mark, your opinion, too tight, just right?
No, I do think it is a tad on the too tight side, definitely, and it makes me question. I think this is the second of Craig's films where we've had a pre-title sequence where he's pretty much jumping straight into some kind of action. So I question Bond as a character, his choices of what he wears when he's going into these kind of situations he finds himself in, where there's usual chaos ensuing. It's a great suit. Don't get me wrong. I love the suit, and I think, as you guys have kind of already hinted at, the color grade that was put on this film afterwards, it just completely detracts from what is a beautiful suit, without a doubt. And I didn't, seeing it in the cinema, I remember not really seeing or noticing properly the pattern that there was on this material. To me, it just looked like a really dark blue suit. But and it's not until he's reached the end of the roof walk that you kind of start to get glimpses of it. But it is very much on the tight side, I think. Yeah, it's fair to say.
It's a tad tight. I know that's how he wanted it. He also had a leg brace under there when he was walking, which gave him kind of like, he was like just kind of praying not to get hurt. But let's see what everybody thinks about when he goes to something just a wee bit comfortable, or more comfortable, I should say. So, Matt, we've got him in this kind of overcoat right now. He's obviously an MI6 talking to M. What do you think about this?
Well, I love the code. It's like it's what we call it's like a Crombie style coat. It has a velvet collar, but it's not a long coat like a Chesterfield, but it's a shorter coat. It's beautiful fabric. I think the fabrics in this film are just some of the most beautiful in the entire series. Gianni Tamim chose some just so many great choices. I mean, the suit has a wonderful pinstripe and herringbone pattern, but it's still very subtle. So and I think that goes back to some of the things that Connery wore. Some of his patterns were fairly intricate, but they didn't look like much when you see them at a distance. And I think that's one thing that can make a suit really special.
Luke, we got Jerry Manis who says it looks more like Banker than Bond. Comment on that.
I would agree if it was buttoned. Does that make any sense? Is that kind of crazy to say? Because the way that the buttons kind of get hidden once it is closed, I would kind of agree with that. But the way he's wearing it, I mean, I agree with Matt. It's silk cashmere blend. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. And this actually fits him.
Although I would button the coat if he was cold.
Yeah, I'm saying if we're looking at it and it's cold and he's got it buttoned, maybe Banker Bond. But right now, I just think he just looks like a badass.
You got to suffer for fashion sometimes. That's what you need to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Kyle, you got an opinion?
Sure. I think we could call this Daniel Craig's 50 Shades of Grey look, because it's gray out there. Which actually, I mean, that's a classic Bond look for going into the office and spending time in London. When Bond is in London, he typically does wear a gray suit. So it suits his location perfectly. I'm not sure why he still has his coat on in M's office. I get that maybe they're trying to...
well, he's on his way out. Remember? With Tony Bennett.
He's on his way out, or he just got pulled in before he even had a chance to throw his coat on the hat rack. But I like it. I think it's a really good look, and it's a very good look for London.
I agree. And then you've got, this look, which I love this in Bond's flat, where it's almost reminiscent of Brosnan in Tomorrow Never Dies. Those moments where he's still dressed up, but he's relaxed and he's at home. The jacket's off. You see the gun. I mean, Mark, talk to me about how this viscerally hits you.
I mean, it was great seeing this in the cinema. Obviously, Bond's home isn't somewhere that we usually go. And the last time we did, it kind of didn't end well, did it? But no, this is a great look. I mean, it's that classic, coming home from the office. I can remember coming home from the office, you're in your suit and you just undo your tie a little bit, maybe the top button undone, jacket off, and you just kind of get that moment of you kind of exhale. And this is perfectly summed up even in this pose, in this photo here. It's a great look. It's clean. I love the shirt. I really do. Fits him perfectly. Tie's a great choice as well. It works for me. Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah.
Kyle, I mean, when I imagine you dress up. I mean, you do. You dress up like Bond a lot. You got the watch peeking out. You've got him relaxed. I love these moments that you can see into his personal life. Does that connect with you as well?
Totally does. I think that's one of my criticisms about the Craig films in general is they don't take their time as much as some of the older films do. We don't see Bond at leisure slowing down. So when we do, it's really extra special. And this is one of those moments. We see Daniel Craig's Bond at home. We see him relaxed a little bit, but he hasn't let go of his James Bond persona yet. He still has his gun on, and he still has his tailored clothing on. He's still very much, James Bond in quotes.
Yeah. And so, Matt, I mean, I tend to gravitate to you, but Create Channel has a great point. It presents a man at ease, but still uneasy. Bond's always got that itchy trigger finger, but he's probably doing some don'ts here as well, or is he okay in this case?
Well, no, I think he's okay. I mean, he's not doing anything wrong. Like if he was out and about, I would you imagine never loosen his tie and unbutton his collar like this. But at home, you can do whatever you want. I mean, he looks like he's uneasy because he hasn't fully relaxed. He hasn't taken off all of his clothes. He hasn't put on that robe yet. He's still in his shirt, like as if he's like he thinks he might have to go back out again. Someone might come. Maybe he doesn't feel safe at this home, and he thinks someone might break in, and he needs to be dressed so he has to run out.
Well, and he probably also didn't want to dress like this with Moneypenny, or maybe he did. I don't know, Luke. You like to dress.
Well, he didn't know Moneypenny was coming.
He did. He told her to come.
He asked her to come.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Matt, I told you to watch the film before this thing.
Oh man, Matt. I think the last look is probably how Matt sleeps. I think that's about as casual as I've ever seen Matt.
He sleeps by hanging with his feet from a rafter. You know that.
Yeah. And that's not a shot at Matt. That's if I could wear that all day and sleep in that, I would. This, you know what? This actually doesn't bother me. This look, because he does need to be dressed down at some point in time. It's just something we don't get to see very often, and it's I think like the dark shade and what they chose for this was the right call. I think it might catch people off guard because, like I said, we don't really see him looking anywhere near this casual. But I don't hate this look.
Yeah, and it's interesting too. I certainly don't hate it either. I think looks like an old robe. It was an antique robe. Kyle, it gave me kind of like shades of Roger Moore's extensive robe collection that you see in his films. But what do you feel?
That's exactly why I love it. It reminds me of some of the classic Roger Moore robes. And again, this is a moment where the film kind of takes its time and it shows Bond slowing down a little bit. Daniel Craig's Bond is rush all the time. So like I said, when those moments we see him slow down, relax, take it easy, take in a drink, contemplate, reflect on what he has to do and what he's done. Those are special moments. So this is one of them.
And by the way, SIS Training Gear, has the robe ever been identified? It was actually from an antique shop. So it drove everybody a little bit crazy. So it hasn't been identified, but maybe one day. Mark, I don't know. Can you see yourself casually, flopping around in this thing?
On the floor, drunk, maybe.
Instruments.
Possibly. Who knows? I think it's a good look. I mean, it's. I think as Carl mentioned, at I forget. Sorry, Carl or Luke mentioned at some point Bond has to switch off and relax for a bit, and I think this is kind of perfectly and captures that moment in the film where he's kind of kicked things going in Mexico, and now he's kind of reassessing. He's pulling all the information he's got together, and you wouldn't, yes, his flat looks like it's just been moved into. I think there's reference to it in the film that he's not just moved in. He's just not bothered really to unpack. So yeah, no, it's nice to see a different, completely polar opposite to the buttoned up, side to Bond that we usually see.
I think if somebody edited all the Craig like relaxing moments, like the Jamaica, his house scene in No Time to Die, all these little moments would be the best Bond film ever. But yeah, we actually
the shortest Bond film ever.
Yeah,
shorter than Quantum, really. So Matt, somebody has a question for you. Instead of remarking on this robe, I'd like you to answer this question. Does Matt wear suit pajamas like Barney from How I Met Your Mother?
No. I mean, I actually have not seen that show, but I do not think I wear
But you don't wear like a matching like.
I
Tom
don't wear.
Cruise or
No, I
Tom
don't have
Cruise?
that. I tend to put my money into the clothes that people can actually see me wearing.
Say no more. Say no.
I
more.
love Matt, dude. This guy's the best.
So
He's the best.
you wear Spider-Man underoos like me. Got it.
Yeah,
Noted.
I do have a robe that I wear at home sometimes.
Okay.
I do think that every man needs to have a robe to wear.
Yes, they
around
do.
the house.
Agreed.
Supposedly ones that say, Dr. Julius No stole this robe or something like that.
Why not?
Mhm.
Why
If you
not?
came to my house on a Sunday morning, that's probably how I would look.
Exactly. All right. You've got Tanner, you've got Bond, you've got him on the boat heading to the new MI6. Mr. Kyle, what do we think about the scarf, the coat, the everything?
Everything's working. I'll touch more on the outfit when we see it without the coat and the scarf, which I'm sure is coming. But this is, again, an appropriate look for James Bond in London with a gray suit, an overcoat, and a scarf, pair of leather gloves. Yeah, that's how James Bond dresses in London in winter. It makes perfect sense.
Is it the same coat that he was wearing before, Matt?
Oh yeah, that's the same coat. It's the same suit. So same shoes. So something actually I love about this film is that we get to see a lot of the same clothes on 2 different days. It kind of shows that Bond is a real person who does not have like just some unlimited wardrobe. He can rewear clothes. Now I would never recommend wearing the same suit 2 days in a row like Bond does here. But wearing the same coat 2 days in a row is fine.
That's a good point. By the way, Matt lives in New York City, so if you hear honking, that's not special effects.
That was
right.
honk if you agree, isn't it? Honk if you agree.
Honk if you agree. Don't do that because all of New York will just start honking. It's just awful. Luke, you've got another jacket off. There's a lot of jacket off moments. I can't believe I said jacket off.
Oh my God.
I apologize.
Holy
Kids, I said to go to
Come
bed.
on.
I
Talking
said to
about
go to
things
bed.
being too tight. Jacket
Here's the
off.
problem. Somebody's
Good
going to
God.
isolate that voiceover.
Ringtone.
Luke, what do you think about this?
Nothing wrong with this. I mean, it's necessary to the scene, and different from what we touched on earlier when he's in his house. He didn't no adjustments to the tie, to the collar. He just he needed to take his jacket off to get this smart blood. Takes it off, and then next time we see him, he's putting it back on. Well, not putting it back on, it is back on. So I don't have a problem with it. And obviously, you can see everything, still a little tight in the legs, but the shirt seems to fit pretty well.
Yeah, you really do see the tightness of the legs here, but then you've got obviously the suit. Let's get everybody's comments on this. Kyle, you got a kind of a nice little suit to look at now.
It's a great suit. And again, this is one of the things that the color grading kind of doesn't show, but the tie is actually more of a purple. And I love purple is my favorite color for ties because I think it is a little bit more visually interesting than your standard grays and blues. So that's a really good look for James Bond. It makes him stand out a little bit more without looking too flashy. I think it's a great suit. Once again, gray suits in London with the track stripe is appropriate for the office and appropriate for what he's doing. This one's working for me too.
I love this combination.
I'm gushing over the style in this film, so get
I
ready.
am too. This is like spoilers galore, but I don't think it is because the one thing is partially into this. What are we? 30 minutes into this happy hour. I will say that when I rewatched the movie and even put this PowerPoint together, I really do have to come to terms that this is a better style movie than No Time to Die to me. For me, it is just because I now own so many of the suits, which leads me to believe that I like so many of them. This one, it's not my favorite suit that I own from the Craig movies, but it is probably the best fitting. And, it could be the fact, Matt, that I think I got it in the right size. Like I didn't try to get it shrink wrapped on me. But what are we thinking here? The fit of this, is it slightly better than the Mexico City?
They're all pretty much the same. I would assume that the suits all fit the same way, at least the ones that are not like the hero suits like these probably all fit the same way. Daniel Craig's body probably has fluctuated throughout the many months that they filmed this. So his, sometimes his muscle might be a little, he might have a little more muscle mass in some scenes than he might have in others, because that's just the nature of what Daniel Craig has to go through to get into his Bond shape. I mean, I think it looks pretty good from here, but we can see that, I can see a little bit of like the blue shirt underneath the button of his suit jacket, and that I'm not crazy about.
His tie is really short, isn't it?
No, I see. My thoughts are that the tie is a good length, but the trousers are too low.
Oh, okay, got that low rise. Mark, how are you feeling about this? Digging it?
Yeah, I am. It's another beautiful suit. Again, the color grade of the film does detract from the finer details of it and the color, I think. But it is a lovely suit. I do really like those kind of light blue shirts with, either the darker blue or purple, as it turns out in this case. It works really well, and it's a great watch that he's got in his hand to go with that suit. So yeah, no, it's it's all good. It's all good.
By the way, Mark, are you wearing that watch today?
Let me check. Yes, I believe I am.
Oh,
Yeah.
look at you!
It's I've not set an alarm for the morning, so it's all good.
It's got a loud bang.
Now, Mark, how do you feel about the coordinating pocket square and shirt?
I can accept it. I think I would have been happier if it had been a white pocket square, perhaps. I mean, in this shot, it looks fine, but to each their own. I know, to have a bit of a contrast there might have been a bit nicer, but it's fine.
Luke, let me ask you a question. I want to kind of change it up a little bit here. Tom Ford calls you up, says, "I'm really enjoying Blunt Instrument, especially the Ray Cromfeld episode. I'm going to allow you to have one of two suits, either the Mexico City suit or this suit. Which one are you choosing?"
Mexico City, come on. No brainer. Even though they are the same suit, just different patterns. They're both the O'Connor suit.
Right.
And my grievance with this is just, we see a kind of a small pinstripe suit in Skyfall, and you can kind of tell that it's pinstripe. In this, you can't at all. And it's kind of a shame. You're completely missing a key piece of this suit. And I think because of the filters and the way they have it edited, you can see a little more of that window pane in the beginning versus the pinstripes here, which, kind of makes that suit stand out a little more. But I'm just very, very fond of the Mexico City.
Yeah. I think you just like stealing my clothes.
And that. Yeah, next one I'll be wearing that, and so on and so forth.
The filter tone certainly does it. All right, you've got Bond. He now heads to Rome. We've got all this beautiful surrounding, and you've got Bond dressed to the nines. So Matt, talk to me. Love it, hate it, kill it?
I love this outfit for the context of this. I think, because I think one thing that Jenny to me said is that this is also a sort of disguise. This isn't really Bond as Bond. It's somewhat Bond. It has some Bondian details in the clothes, but then there are also some things that Bond doesn't wear himself, like a collar pin. I'm a big fan of this coat. It's a bridge coat. That's like the style. It's like a naval style coat. So it's definitely a very Bondian coat. I'm not crazy about him just buttoning one button. I guess it's holding it together without being buttoned up. But I feel like if you're wearing a coat, you should be buttoned up a little more. I do love the sunglasses. They're some of my favorite sunglasses.
They're great.
The Tom Ford sunglasses. I think this is a fantastic pair of sunglasses. He looks, well turned out for a funeral where he has to be, I guess, buttoned up and very. I'm assuming it's going to be a little cold if he's wearing an overcoat here.
You think? I think you're right. Although Rome, I don't know about that. But underneath that coat, Luke, he's got this, double-breasted, and Nicholas Slayton says this is Bond's best outfit in the movie to him. 3-piece black suit, gloves, yes. Craig's Bond did not wear enough waistcoats. Luke, what do you think about the outfit? Try not to look to the right. Just look at his outfit.
Now where am I looking? I I think it looks fantastic. I agree completely with that comment. I just, it's a slightly elevated look we don't see very often, and he pulls it off very well. And I think, like Mafia Bond, that's kind of right. He's like, kind of like classic mafioso, especially like Italian in Italy mafia. I dig it. I dig it. He looks great.
Kyle, you like the tie pin? What are you thinking?
I like it as part of the disguise. I think it's working for the context of a mobster funeral in Italy. I don't know if it's something that James Bond would wear in his normal everyday life. He might find it a little bit too fussy, a little too studied, an extra step in getting dressed that a man on the go might not go for. But as far as being a piece of, mobster disguise, I think it's working here.
Yeah. Mark, what do you think? I mean, and put it in a different context. Is this a type of suit that you would take off the rack and buy for yourself?
If I was going to a funeral, and that funeral was an Italian mob funeral, then yes, definitely. I think it fits perfectly within the context of these scenes, and it definitely feels, out of all the suits that we see in this film alone, this definitely feels different to any of those other ones, or maybe even any of the Craig era Bond suits that we've seen, because it's definitely tuning into the location and the circumstance that it's meant for. So Rome, Italy, high fashion, mobsters. I've never been to a mobster's funeral, but this is what I imagine.
They're very fun. You should go.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kyle,
Okay.
come on.
I've heard they're a good laugh. So
Come to New
yeah.
Jersey. They happen every weekend.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I like the suit. It's a very nice piece. The tie pin I could do without, but I understand it within the context of this.
Matt, you see Connery in quite a few three pieces, not a ton with Craig. Does it look a little awkward with Craig wearing it?
No, he wears it very well. I think that, we've seen Craig, we used to see Craig wear more three-piece suits on his own many years ago, back around the time of Casino Royale. So he loves them. This suit is probably my favorite of the whole film. Now, I think the fabric is beautiful. It's a black herringbone. So, lots of black suits can look very dull, but the herringbone really makes this suit come alive. I think that the fit is a little better because it's a different model. That's not the O'Connor, but it's the Windsor. It's a classic Tom Ford look. It has that very Savile Row style that Tom Ford loves. He stole this style from the Savile Row designer Tommy Nutter. So, even though we're thinking of Craig as a mafia kind of person here, his suit looks more British than any of them in the Bond film. He looks extra British here. And when I first saw the behind the scenes photos of the suit, I got so excited because of the cocktail cuffs on his shirt. We hadn't seen Bond in cocktail cuffs since Moonraker.
Wow.
And this outfit really got me just so excited.
That's so cool. And by the way, please keep in mind, I'll get it. Everybody sit. It's not my phone. I bet you it's Matt's.
Kyle.
Is it
With the
Kyle?
house phone still.
Yeah, that's me.
Tell her you'll call you back because, even though we're talking about Bond fashions.
Whoa.
Yeah, this is my show, so I can show anything I want. And I'm
Full
just going to put
screen.
this up for a second. And Ray's quote of that. I'd rather have Monica Bellucci on me than the suit.
Agreed.
He
It's
read
a fair
it.
point.
Agreed.
It's a fair point.
It's a fair point. Maybe a moment of silence is fine. No, first
He's
of all,
back.
He's back and he's better than ever. And we've got to go to this because I'm going to go to my friend Luke because this is a little bit of a wish come true dream outfit. But Luke, talk to us. What's going on here?
I just think he, and I will say, once the hat is removed, this is probably my favorite non-suit look from the entire film.
Wow.
I just think it's very, very well pieced together. That vintage Dior jacket. Obviously, that I don't know who makes that turtleneck. I wish I could have one. Kyle, maybe you can tell me where to find one. I just think it looks really good. And you know what though? It's kind of similar. And bear with me here. It's similar look to the skeleton suit, as in it's just very Bond when it comes to fitting in with what he's doing. You know, it's like in the Mexico City, in the Day of the Dead, he could be wearing anything, but what would Bond wear? To me, this is kind of a similar thing. He could wear anything to keep him warm here, but what would Bond wear in the scene? I think this is perfect for that.
I will tell you, because I've owned every one of these items that he has, and I've worn it in the winter. It is an incredibly impractical outfit to wear in the setting that he's in. The Dior jacket has little to no filling whatsoever. Beautiful cashmere. Oh my gosh, ridiculous. The gloves, those are not the gloves that I would wear when it was freezing cold off of a lake in Austria. The pants, the puppy tooth pants, I mean, you could feel like a puff of wind go through them. And then the Danner boots, you know, the boots that he wears, or does he wear the Crockett and Jones in this shot?
I think it's the Danner in this.
I believe so too.
I would definitely not wear the Crockett and Jones in the snow.
No.
These are definitely
the only thing
standards,
that fits is the hat and the thing, but he looks amazing. And I think most of us, Matt, I don't think you do, but you have the Fumo gray on right now, own the turtleneck. Mark, what was it about this scene and the turtleneck where you're like, I got to get that piece?
I think it's just the whole aesthetic of it. Well, it was two things actually, because I got the hat as well, and I was debating wearing that tonight, but I decided to go against it. It's the whole look, and it just the whole package of the turtleneck with the Dior jacket, the hat, the gloves. It looks amazing. I mean, as you say, if it's impractical, then it's impractical. But that's the magic of movies. We're led to believe that it works, and it certainly looks like it could work. But just, you know, when I saw that MPL were releasing the turtleneck as part of their collection, I knew I had to go and look at it at the very least in the store. Which I did, and of course, you know, I had to buy it. So it's one of those moments. I think a bit like Kyle with the suit. You know, once you try these things on, whether it's a suit, whether it's a sweater, whether it's a watch, you know, once you get bitten, that's it. It's too late. Yeah. And it certainly was the case with the turtleneck there, with the roll neck rather. It's just lovely. Yeah, great.
Yeah,
softest thing I've ever worn.
It is. And Kyle, I think Luke has a good point. When you take the hat off, it really does transform it. It turns almost into a Craig outfit. But same thing with you, Kyle. That was one of the first NPL pieces that you got, right?
It was. And it's one of those things, like Mark just said, once you feel it in your hands, you know you need to have it. It's that soft, it's that warm, it's that luxurious. And then you put it on and it feels good, and you feel better once you have it on. Yeah. You stand a little bit taller.
Damn right.
It makes you feel a little bit extra special to share that moment with Bond. So, and I'm willing to accept, yes, maybe this isn't the most practical outfit that James Bond is wearing for the situation, but I will use the excuse because he's James Bond as a catch-all to cover a lot of impractical.
Of course. I always have to make the remark just because, you know, for example, Kevin Rose has a great question. David, you still own the Dior jacket? If not, do you regret it? I think it worked well with the NPL sweater, the pants, and the boots. I do not own the Dior jacket anymore, and I'll be very transparent about this. I loved it for like a month. I wore it a couple times out. What I found was the off-kilter sweater, because it's kind of a misaligned sweater. And
zipper.
The zipper. What did I say? Sweater. Yeah. And I'm only like a quarter into my drink.
A long night.
Catch up.
Yeah, it's time for the water, David.
Yeah, you're doing much better because of the water. No, but I found that the Dior jacket it wasn't me. I had the same feeling about a jacket we're going to see towards the end there. And I'm getting better about items that I just don't feel I'm going to gravitate to. I get rid of. The other thing was it was a little bit long. I'll post it tomorrow on my Instagram feed. The Dior jacket was just a little bit long. Strangely enough, someone came along and made a replica of it and made it a little bit more like it's seen in the movie. And so I kept that one. And sure enough, I wear that one more than I wore the Dior. So
David, can I ask you, because I've never even tried on the Dior one. Do you think the Royale filmwear is warmer than the Dior version?
Yes.
Because that's kind of, you know,
because it's a, I mean, let's face it.
It's like a wool, right?
Yeah, it's like a felted wool, so it has like a binding that's a little bit tighter. The cashmere of the Dior one oh my gosh, it was softer than a kitten's ear. But it just wasn't. It wasn't
Yeah.
very practical. It was a little bit more porous,
Because
perhaps.
that Royale Filmwear one I do have, and wearing that full outfit, it's a hot one, to say the least.
It's a hot time in the Old Town tonight.
Oh yeah.
All right, well, let's talk about a hot time in the Old Town tonight because we're heading to the Hoffler Clinic, and Matt Spazer, you can make snow bunnies in this outfit. I mean, what do you think of it?
Oh, yeah. Well, so I think it's also not quite the most practical outfit. I don't think he's going to be quite as warm. He doesn't have. I mean, his sleeves on that jacket aren't very much sleeves. I think we need Bogner back into Bond to dress Bond for the snow. But I do like this look. I particularly like the trousers because they were based. I think Jenny said they were based on the 1950s French ski trousers.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's amazing. I love the look of the forward pleats. I think I can't see myself wearing this. I can't see myself really wearing any of this outfit, but I think it's actually still pretty cool for the scene. I think it has the right look.
Yeah, I do have the Tom Ford pants that from the movie, and I have to tell you, this is shameful to say, I wore them for the review, and I never wore them again because it looked like I had a full diaper in my butt,
No.
and not an empty diaper.
Love
'cause
that.
I'm doing fine right
Wow.
now. Brought to you by
What
Depends.
a look.
But it was a terrible look. It was all baggy, and I have thin legs to begin with. However, that Solden jacket, as I've coined it, which, by the way, if you walk into Tom Ford and call it the Solden jacket, they've picked up that name too. So, cha-ching. I love it. I love the gloves. The glasses are a little bug-like. I wouldn't wear them all the time, but I like it. But the pants kind of kill it for me. So it's kind of like a little bit of the opposite. But Mark, what do you think? Parts and pieces, or would you take this as a whole?
I take pieces, definitely. Excuse me. Take pieces, definitely. And depending on the situation I was in, I do love, or at least I liked when I saw them on the screen earlier, the sunglasses. But I'd probably wear them only if you were in a snowy environment and you needed that coverage all the way around your eyes. Otherwise, you get snow blindness or whatever. I like that. I love actually the scene that precedes this kind of action piece where he's in the office being interviewed by Madeline, and he's got the jacket undone, and you see he's got like a darker blue version of this kind of mock turtleneck. I think that's great. It's a shame you can't really see it here, but I'd take pieces. I'm not so sure on the trousers myself, but the jacket looks cool. The watch obviously is very prominent in these shots as well. But I don't hate it. It's not one I hate or love. It's just I feel neutral about it.
Okay, well, neutral is actually a very good opinion because, someone like Kyle, would you be shoveling the snow in this or no?
No, I wouldn't. I think this is one of those circumstances where, because he's James Bond, is the explanation for why he's wearing this outfit. He looks amazing in it. But this is, for my own personal opinion, because I'm trying to avoid saying for me.
Yes, please do. Please, dear God.
This is more of this is an autumn outfit. It's not warm enough to wear in the circumstances that he's in right now. I agree with Mark about the glasses. I think snow goggles are important in this circumstance. So are the thick gloves. But the jacket and the mock neck are both beautiful pieces. They're wonderful. I think he looks amazing in them. This is way too cold of an environment for him to wear them, but it's such a badass scene, and it's Bond really showing why he's the best at what he does, that I'm willing to overlook it. Like, okay, because he's James Bond.
Yeah, before I get Luke's opinion on this, Connor Bentley, same as you, Matt, and I agree. Wagner would have been a nice nod here if it had been a ski scene. And if it had been a ski scene, my head would have blown off. I would have loved it. Alex Lama says, I'm actually more in this skiing. He's gone skiing in this with a warm-up jacket underneath, and it's perfect. And I've heard of a few people doing this, and I'm doing a ski video this coming weekend with my brother, who's like an expert skier, and we're going to be doing an On Her Majesty's Secret Service ski video. and I'm
Wow.
bringing some outfits, and I was going to bring this, but I just know, like, even the wool sleeves, they get pretty cold. But Luke, do you have something like this or like a replica of it?
No, I've never gotten anything. You know, I do like the jacket, and I agree with basically what everybody said. I love the jacket, and I love the NPL sweater, the mock neck, but not a fan of the trousers. I think he wore this and he was like here's me getting blunt with you. He heard he's going to see Mr. White's daughter, thinks she might be hot. He wants to look cool. That's it. That's it. He's like, I don't care if I'm freezing my ass off. She might be hot. I need to look cool.
That is.
Can I ask a quick question? Is he has he got his trousers turned up, or is that the top of the boots? Like,
That's
is
his
he
socks.
hip? That's his socks. Okay, so he's not being a hipster. That's fine. Okay.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Wait, it's the stirrups, right?
They're stirrups. That's exactly
Yeah,
it. So actually, the
Right.
stirrups go into the boot, and then the sock comes out and over.
Gotcha. Okay, makes sense.
There's a lot of groin play too with those pants. I'm just telling you, I'm not a fan.
Can we just rattle off what's been said on this so far? Groin play, jacket off, too tight. There was something else too. Holy shit. We're in trouble.
Yeah, I tell you, it's funny too, because Matt has a really good point. There's a lot of different versions of what you see in this. Like, they'll take a jacket and they'll put it like throughout a couple scenes or some things off. I hate this outfit. Hate it. Like, no, obviously this is one of my favorites. The reason I wore this tonight is not just for the sake of variety, quote Skyfall. It's also because I tend to not display this jacket very often because I wear it. Like, I wear it like 3 seasons out of the year, wear it, because I don't have a lot of, well, I didn't before Luke got a hold of me. I didn't have a lot of like light clothing. This to me just looks so good. It's like a Tangier's type of Timothy Dalton moment. The only thing is, now that I've spoken to Janine, his V was altered. So his V is not as deep as like the one which is going down to my belly button right now.
Yeah, I think it's gotten deeper as the conversation's gone on.
Dude, you have no idea. Right now, my wedding tackle is coming out of the bottom of it. I can go to the bathroom without taking down my shirt. That's
can you imagine if someone with a lot of like chest hair, like Sean Connery or Peter Brooker, wore this?
Oh my gosh, it'd be like,
Yep.
It'd be like a plume of. It'd be like Roger, his dog, is coming out of his chest, but it's just his chest. But folks, talk to me, Mark. Let's start with you. The whole outfit. I mean, when you saw this in the film, were you like raw?
Yeah, absolutely love it. And seeing as it is in Tangiers, as you mentioned, Timothy Dalton there, it just screams, the Living Daylights. He wears, it's a very similar color tone to this jacket, Timothy Dalton. And yeah, I love it. It's not a blink and you'll miss it scene where they're kind of walking through Tangiers, but as soon as he gets into the hotel, obviously the jacket's removed and you see a lot more of the shirt, which is a lovely shirt. Didn't realize that the V was altered, as you mentioned. But yeah, no, it's a great look. I like it. And the sunglasses are cool. Another set of different sunglasses again.
Yeah.
And, this is amazing. You could be an advert for them. But,
the beginning of Craig's fascination with sunglasses. But Kyle, you own the jacket, don't you?
I do. I love this look. This is one of my favorite looks. It's my favorite casual look in the whole movie. I wear this jacket a lot. However, I'm still a little too afraid to wear it if there's a chance of rain in like a 50-mile radius. It has to be bone dry, because I don't want to have any unfortunate incidents with this soft, buttery suede, because it really is the most supple suede I've ever owned. I love.
Well, Kyle,
jacket.
Can't you just turn it inside out?
I would, but it has this candy stripe lining on the inside. It's for you Seinfeld fans out there. But I love it. The shirt is a little bit trickier for me. I am one of those hirsute guys, so I could not get away with wearing this shirt. But the jacket and the sunglasses all the time.
Do you have the J. Crew boots?
I do not.
Yeah, I mean they're simple. I mean, you could find, hate to be like this, you could find 100 other brands that have it, but I just think it's one of these things that it's It's soft, it's suede, it's very Bond. And then again, you've got this situation where he takes off the jacket. So, Matt, let me ask you a question. Does this speak to what Bond should look like right here, or is it kind of like more Daniel Craig?
Oh no, this is Bond. The whole outfit is Bond. I think this is one of Daniel Craig's best casual looks. I mean, I think the fit of the polo is fantastic. It's just such a perfect look. Yeah, Boomer knows what he's talking about there.
He's in the right. He's in the right live stream.
But actually, I have a question for Kyle and David about the jacket. Is this jacket too warm to wear in this kind of hot weather? How does it feel?
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm a sweater, so I wouldn't wear it in Tangier, but I would wear this in the spring or the autumn.
Yeah, and you can wear leather jackets, believe it or not, in hot weather, but they're usually not lined or they're
Correct.
half vented. This is
Fully lined.
fully lined, and then some. So yeah, it's not the most practical thing, but
it looks great because he's James Bond.
It
yeah,
sure
see,
does.
that's the thing. I mean, this is one of these films where you can walk away and if somebody says, "So talk to me about weather and James Bond," and you're like, "Watch Spectre," because it's not the most practical stuff, but it does look pretty good. And Luke, you got to be digging it too, right?
I do. Yeah, this is one of those looks. Me personally, the jacket, I don't think I could pull off. I'd have to try it on next time I see one of you guys. But
that means he's going to steal it from me.
Yeah,
you mark my word, gents.
I will like this, but this time physically steal it. Like you'll turn and look away, and it's gone. But I really agree with what Matt said about this being 100% Bond, and I not just because of how well pieced together this look is as well, but the nod to Timothy Dalton. I love when they do things like that. And then you throw in like the vintage Tom Ford Wayfarers. There's just a lot of really classy, smart, like this is just very, very smart look, well done costume design, and I love it.
Although she swears she did not do it because of Timothy Dalton.
Yeah, right.
Really?
Come on here.
Well,
Deep B and all.
I think that it's just such a classic look that you don't have to. I think different people can come up with the same thing for this type of location.
Right.
I mean, and it being so classic is what makes it so Bond as well.
Yeah.
It just looks great in the 1980s. It looks great now. It always look good.
By the way, that the Tom Ford the shirt hits. I don't know how this guy designs stuff, but he's a genius. It hits at the perfect part of the bicep. So whether you have like python arms or you need to go work out, it just makes everybody's arms look great. But he doesn't always wear this shirt with this jacket. And this is the cool part of like imagining Bond has, the 19-inch brown Globetrotter, and he's taking it around these different places. And he's like, you know what? I've broken into Mr. White's safe room. My Tom Ford shirt's all sweaty. I'm going to put on an all-a-bar brown shirt. And a lot of us own this piece, but I'm going to go to Kyle. What do you think? You've got kind of this mix and match going on.
It's kind of like Matt has said before. This is perfect. James Bond is recycling pieces that we've already seen, which adds a little bit more realism to it. Plus, it's Bond in a really badass, awesome leather jacket. Let's be real. When does that never not work? But I think that kind of lends a sense of realism to the film. And it also shows that, hey, these pieces don't have to be worn just one way. These things are clothing that should be part of your everyday wardrobe that you experiment with, wear with different shirts, wear with different trousers. That's the fun of it.
Yeah. And Dominic, stop. Oh, just stop you. Mark, what do you think? I mean, this is, until somebody said at the beginning of this, it is kind of a mix and match movie, and it's almost exactly what we like to do with our own Bond brands.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, first off, I didn't realize this was an Oliver Brown shirt, so that's a piece of information I'm going to make a note of. But absolutely, I think with all the Bond kind of, I think as we said on the video that we did previously, with the Bond items that I've certainly purchased over the past, 2 or 3 years, it's not about cosplaying being James Bond. You know, obviously with things like with a suit, a full suit, a suit is a suit. You're wearing a suit because that's what it is as a whole. But you can mix and match so many different items, pick apart different looks. You could take something from the Altasea scenes, say the roll neck, and you could take the trousers from No Time to Die, or you could, you know, whatever it may be. You can mix and match so many different styles and looks from the films to put together a great outfit, and that's what I love, is that the versatility of a lot of the items that are worn, and that we are fortunate enough to be able to get. So this is a great look as well. You know, it's a great shirt, great leather jacket, as you say. You know, when doesn't Bond look great in a leather jacket? So
you're mind bending with Connor Bentley, because he says, and several people, versatility is key. And when you think about Bond brands, and Kyle, I know you live it. You just did something, you know, around this with Luke, a video on his YouTube channel where you talked about the versatility and making sure that it isn't just a cosplay outfit, that it's something much more that you could do with.
Yes.
So it brings us to something that is arguably, you know, if you wore this, they'd either think you're a waiter, you're cosplaying as James Bond, or you're just trying to get a good look. But to me, there's always a time and a place for something as classic as this. And we got to go to our most classic of gentlemen to start this conversation. Matt, the white jacket is back.
Yeah, I love the idea that they brought back the white jacket with the peak lapels, and I love the diamond point bow tie, the pleated shirt. There, I do have some issues with the jacket itself. To me, the jacket is not such a classic example. It's not like the ones that Bond had worn in the past. You know, I don't like that it has two buttons on the front. I don't like that it has a single vent. I don't like that it has silk-faced lapels. So you know, I love the idea that they brought it back, but it just seems to I think it kind of just started off with a new way of doing, you know, ivory dinner jackets, and you know, I prefer the more classic ones that, say, like Connery and Moore would wear.
Yeah, and this is a good thing. So Kyle, you always like to wear the outfits in the right time and the right place, as you talk about. The environment is what you're keen on saying. Nicholas Slayton says, maybe it's because I'm an American, our trains aren't fancy, but would anyone wear a tux on a train?
I mean, if it looked like that, yeah.
The Orient Express.
Yeah.
Not your
railroad.
not your typical Amtrak.
Right.
Being an Englishman, this is how I ride the train. So yeah.
That's the tube as you get to
the tube.
I just took this off when I got home.
I'm just joking. I don't take public transport. So
that was so wonderfully snobbish. I love that.
The sunglasses are really coming into play here, Mark.
Luke, what do you think about this? Because Matt's got some good points, and we haven't even really talked about fit. I mean, obviously, I love this picture. I had to put this up here. But what a face!
I'm sure Daniel.
What's that? Are they making bok choy? Who knows? But obviously, he can move in this. But how does it look on him?
I think it looks okay. I mean, it's also still on the tight side for sure. I mean, I don't think they were able to escape that at all in this film, except for maybe like Matt said with that 3-piece suit. But you know, this is one where I just appreciate it for the nods. And you know, we know the Humphrey Bogart quote from Janny. We may have heard that one here and there, where she's gotten some inspiration from it. But of course, Sean Connery. I just like it for the nods more than anything.
Yeah. You're right. All right. Well, speaking of nods, we're heading to one that is a little bit divisive. People either love it, they kind of scratch their heads about it, but we're actually going to start with you, Mark. What were your thoughts on this?
Watching it again today, as I say, I got a new TV. I say new TV about a year ago now, and I've not watched Spectre on it, so I watched it and picked up on a lot of details, having a better quality TV than I did previously. But this it feels very much like the Massimo Alba Matera suit of Spectre. People, you could interchange those suits into these scenes, and you wouldn't necessarily see much of a difference. I like the suit. I do like the color. I suppose if you're in a desert environment, as Bond and Madeline are, it kind of fits in. Again, great sunglasses. I do like the color of the tie, but then I can't tell now if it's because of the color grade. Maybe it's been changed and it's actually a blue tie. Who knows? But you know, it's
Purple.
Yeah, I can see how it would be kind of. I don't know if you guys have Marmite in the States.
Yeah.
Oh, you do. You love it or hate it, and it's that kind of suit, basically.
Matt, do you love it or hate it?
I'm a little more towards the hate it side. I like some ideas behind it. I like the color, although I don't like that the jacket and trousers are so similar in color, but without being the same thing. I also think that the tie, while I like the tie, I like brown knitted ties, it's a classic Bond tie. I don't like it with this. I think it's a little strange that he's wearing a tie in this context. He has no reason to be wearing a tie in these days, this day and age. I think if he wore an open neck shirt, it would look so much better. He would look more relaxed. He would look just more appropriate for this moment.
Write this down, ladies and gentlemen. Matt just said he thinks Bond would look better not wearing a tie.
Like, I think that's I think
It
something
happened on
like
two.
Yeah, another ringtone.
So I think that
Calls for a drink.
if he was more like say like Brosnan with his with his tan suit in Die Another Day in Cuba, or the cream linen suit in The World's Not Enough without a tie, those kind of looks to me would have been better for this. It would have been more relaxed.
Well, Yeah, and here's the thing too that kind of boggles my mind. By the way, I agree with everything you say. I love this jacket. This is actually one of my favorite sports jackets, but it was a suit. So they purchased it, production purchased it as a suit. He was going to wear it as a suit, and they wound up changing the pants, a discussion between him and Janney. So to me, that's a very strange thing. And Matt, you nailed it. They're so close to each other. It's almost when you wear like different blues, but the blues are very similar, and it plays with the brain a little
Now,
bit.
it's not as bad as wearing two similar blues. That would, I would say, is worse than wearing two similar browns. But
Well, we'll agree to disagree. No.
although I also don't like the fit of this jacket on Bond. It's not a bad fit, but I think it's more of the cut isn't right for him. I think a lot of the Bruno Cucinelli things that he wears, the shoulders don't look right on him. They don't have enough structure to make him look balanced. I think he just doesn't look elegant enough in this.
Kyle, do you think the scene should have dressed Bond like Dalton when he's going to kill Pushkin?
Maybe perhaps in concept, not necessarily in execution. I think Craig's clothes are certainly of a finer quality than what Dalton wore in The Living Daylights for the Pushkin scene. But kind of like Matt said, that was a relaxed beige suit with an open collar shirt as opposed to wearing a tie. I don't object to the tie here so much. I object to the tie length. I think it needs to be tied a little bit longer, or maybe his trousers need to be hiked up a little bit higher, or maybe it's a combination of the two, but they don't meet. And it's a problem for me. I can't not see that little gap. And it kind of looks like, like he's wearing his dad's ties, like he doesn't know how to tie his own ties yet. But I will say that this particular jacket, it's unstructured, it's unlined, it's light. It works for Morocco a lot better as we're talking about dressing for the climate. This one actually looks a lot more appropriate than some of the other things he's worn in this film. And quite frankly, this is how I think he should have dressed in the opening scene of No Time to Die instead of the corduroy suit.
And it's crazy to think, but his boots, those little frickin' J. Crew boots, just keep traveling with him at different outfits, which makes it interesting. Luke,
SPECTRE is the film of recycling pieces.
That's going to be the tagline for this show.
Very eco-friendly.
What do you think? I mean, do you like any of the parts and pieces? Do you like the whole thing?
Matt hit the nail on the head. I saw this, and once again, I'll go back to I don't know if it's a filter thing, but I was convinced that this was a full suit, and it's just because of how unbelievably similar in color the suit jacket and the trousers are. And I always thought that was a huge no-no. So when I heard, and saw this, past seeing the film, I kind of couldn't believe it. And I do agree with Kyle too that the tie is way too short. I mean, and once again, like everything else, it looks fantastic on him, but you know, there's some real big faux pas in this outfit.
By the way, I gotta say too, we haven't been commenting too much on accessories and things like that, but his sunglasses in this film are just on point.
Fire.
None, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
100% fire.
Right? Like I wanna go tomorrow if there's sun. I want to grab those sunglasses. But we've got absolute shark sleekness. Wednesdays, Shark Week. Matt, we're gonna hit you last because we don't want the buzzkill.
No.
3/4 of the way through. But Luke, we're gonna kind of bookend it here. You just ended, so your voice is warmed up. What do you think of this suit?
Well, I'm scared. I like when Matt goes first because he scares me so much. I like to disagree with him.
Nobody throws shade like Matt.
I will say,
who's this Omega Bond watches that says he loves the suit?
Unfamiliar with that character. No, I agree with Lorenzo completely with this. I actually really love this suit, and I think it's actually one of the ones that kind of seems to fit just a little better than the rest. But I want to know how he got it. That's the thing I can't under. Where did it come from?
He laid it out. Blofeld laid it out just like he did the dress.
No, I know, but it's like, and it's perfectly tailored. Was Vesper there?
No,
5 years earlier, and was like, here's his measurements, like just in case he ever comes here.
So that's what Vesper did after she died. She became a ghost and just sized people up and would go to bad guys and deliver.
A ghost tailor, it's the best kind. But no, I actually like this one. I think it looks very sleek, and I think he looks good in this one. But kind of weird to be wearing in that environment, even though he is indoors.
It's funny too, because I do like this. I actually, believe it or not, I actually feel like when I watched the film again recently, this was the most ill-fitting to me. I feel like it puckered around his waist. But then when he also took off the jacket and did the whole PlayStation 5 thing where he's like shooting people without aiming, his pants look awkwardly tight. Like they look like jeggings to me. Kyle, what did you think of the suit? What do you think of the suit?
I've got a lot to say about this suit. I think it's one of the most beautiful suits that Craig has worn as James Bond. And again, it's an issue of the suit looking a lot more rich and vibrant in person. I've seen this suit in person, and it's similar in color to the Mexico City suit. It's a lighter blue that really pops. It's vibrant and rich. Here it looks kind of flat and muted, and I wish it didn't, because it's a very vibrant, bright looking suit. I love the tie, but a few changes that I would make: I'd put him in a blue shirt instead of the white shirt. Daniel Craig looks better in blue shirts, and I agree with you about the pants 100%. It looks like they're about an inch too short, and he's kind of wearing like not man prees, but pretty darn close to it.
Man prees.
Yeah. So Matt, let's kick it off with. Oh no, you're going last. I'm sorry, I forgot Mark. But real quick, does this have silk in it? Does it have a little bit of silk?
No. This one is all wool. Some of the other suits in the film have silk, but I believe this one is 100% wool.
Okay, hold it, Matt. Just save it. Your comment. Don't release the hounds yet, Mark. We've got I'm Not a Number that says the suit's fit is abysmal. Great color, bad fit. What do you think?
Yeah, I kind of agree. I mean, just the way that Craig is stood here in this scene, it's like, I don't know what I'm doing. Well, what am I doing here in this suit that is really, it's like a kid that's put on his dad's jacket. It's
here's the opposite. He's the dad who put on his son's jacket.
Okay. No, you're right. Exactly. It is the dad who's put on his son's jacket. It doesn't quite fit. There's a tiny bit of shirt showing below the button, but we won't. I'll leave that for Matt to pick up on. But it's again, the color. Throughout the film, the color grade of the film itself kind of detracts from the materials that have been used, and it kind of gives a false impression of what you're seeing in terms of color. But no, the suit itself, I like the suit. I don't like the fit on Craig here. That's my thoughts.
All right, everybody, if you have a drink, take a sip.
Buckle up.
Steel yourself.
Good.
All thumbs up.
Matt,
Ready to go.
please, sir.
Yeah, so clearly it looks like Craig has been eating a lot of Cubby's pasta.
Wow.
That must be why the suit is just so much
Well,
tighter than all
that's
the
it for
others.
the events for
David,
2022. ladies
please
and
don't
gentlemen.
ask me to go before Matt ever.
Now I'm
again,
hungry.
please.
So,
I need a little bolognese.
So I would say that so I guess it's not Bond's suit, so Blofeld gave it to him, so that might explain why it doesn't fit him like all the other suits in the film. Although this is the same style of suit as most of the others, so that doesn't really work as an excuse. Now, I will agree with other people about how beautiful the fabric is. When I went to the Tom Ford store back in 2015 to check out the suits, and this one really struck me as probably the most beautiful of all the fabrics. I think the shark skin is it's something that really spoke to me. I actually went and got a suit from Mason and Sons after this, made of a blue shark skin. Mine looks a lot brighter, just as his does in real life.
Mm-hmm.
So that did speak to me. I'll agree with Kyle that I think a blue shirt would have looked better on Craig. But I do like just the simple aesthetic of the semi-solid blue suit with a solid blue tie and the white shirt. It's a very Connery type look. I think it's so that has a lot of classic Bond going for it in many ways.
Not as horrific as I thought.
It's just the fit. The fit is just it just looks horrible here. I mean, he's standing in a pose that should show off a suit at its best. When you're standing just without any, just standing with your arms at your side, that is when a suit should look its best. And if it doesn't,
That's a good point.
If it doesn't look right in his current pose, then something's really wrong.
So I love that, Mark. This is like a pub, and you wouldn't raise your hand in a pub. Just blurt it out, my friend.
I'm sorry, I'm British. We raise our hands if we have a question or
But then you
want to
roll
add
your
something.
eyes when we turn our backs. I know how.
You can't tell. You can't tell. So, no, a question for all of you guys really is, like, obviously during the production of a film, they'll do costume fittings fairly early on. And then Daniel Craig will carry on with his workout regime, whether it's Bond 24 Fitness Challenge or Bond 25 Fitness Challenge. Do we think some of the fitting issues for some of these suits could be because they did the fittings early on?
They adjust on the fly.
Yeah. I would certainly. Yeah, I would really hope that they would adjust this literally day of, minutes before.
This is a preference thing, and Matt has talked about this on his website, on videos. We all have. Daniel Craig wants it to look like a layer of skin, especially in this particular.
But it doesn't look like a layer of skin unless he's really, at least he's old and wrinkly.
By the way, the best quote coming from the chat: "Cubby's pasta. It's the science fact of pasta." I love that.
5 minutes in the future.
See, this is why we can't do these without Matt. Like, I will change the
No,
date
never.
of these happy
Absolutely
hours.
not. Old and wrinkled. Come on.
Lorenzo says, then wear a wetsuit. Wow. Okay, so we're going to move on because there's a lot of love for this suit. But we're going to go to something that maybe is a little bit more tempered. And we are going to start with Kyle with this outfit.
Once again, we've got Bond in a leather jacket. Sign me up. This is my tactical Bond. I love it. I think this is how Bond dresses for battle. He's going back to London. He's got to be badass. He's got to break out of enemy restraints. Yeah, I can't fault this. I have the mock neck. That's the only, and the shoulder holster. Those are the only pieces I have from this, and the Aquaterra actually.
The boots are pretty good.
Okay.
I did get the jacket, not once, not twice, 3 times. And I try to convince myself every time I could get used to this. But with the baseball stitching and the way it looked, it's better for Harris Thomas than David Zaritsky. To me, I would pick up the Tom Ford Harrington in Quantum of Solace every time before I grab this, or even this matchless jacket, more than the John Varvatos.
I do have a leather jacket with like a Cafe Racer collar that I just have had for many, many years. So that's kind of the one that I throw on if I want to pay homage to this look.
Nice. Luke, what do you think?
I mean, I love it. I'm impartial because this is a Detroit guy, Johnny V, Detroit. So I'm a big fan of this, but similar to a couple, different outfits here. I kind of call this the Lorenzo jacket because this is just what I always see Lorenzo in, as oddly enough his comment pops up. But yeah, of course, Bond looks great in it. I like this one. This is something I could get on board with, in an everyday wear in my life. So I like this one.
What do you think, Mark?
I like it. I'm not sure it's something I'd pick out for myself necessarily. Obviously, the turtleneck, the mock turtleneck, obviously. Yeah. Yes, the jacket is very nice. I don't think it's something that would necessarily suit me, but I can buy into it for the ending and where it sits within the film. It's curious actually seeing some of the comments coming up on the side here. I hadn't realised that it has a very similar look. I don't know if it is the same jacket, but it has a very similar look to the one that Tom Cruise wore in Fallout.
Similar,
but similar look. But yeah, I don't hate it. It's not something I would pick for myself in terms of jackets, but it fits within the film. So yeah.
What do you think, Matt? I don't see you wearing this.
No, it's not exactly for me. I'm not crazy about mock turtlenecks for myself. I prefer a full roll neck. Although I do get too hot in them. I wear very hot. I'm like Kyle. I get very hot. So it's
you do.
Mm-hmm. But I think the look is great for the film. I think it's great for Bond. Yeah, I'm actually with Dean on the Sanders boots because of the soles are not the most practical. I think that if Bond were wearing some of like the other suede chuckies he's also worn.
The Drakes, the Churches, all those are superior.
The Churches, or the John Lobb with the day-night sole,
yes.
I think would have been so much better. I love day-night soles, so I think that would have been a better choice. The trousers don't seem quite right for me here. I don't hate the trousers, but
I do like a good puppy tooth that fits well, though. You don't like those?
Yeah, I don't know. There's something about, I think maybe the fit I don't like, or I think the fabric just doesn't seem right for this outfit.
Yeah, and to me, I think some people said this is like bank robber Bond or something like that. It is. It's like he's going to be sneaking, etc. But he doesn't have the gloves. He doesn't. And just for me, if I walked out of the house with this, it would look a little too dark. I don't know, a little too kind of New York mime show going on.
But the individual pieces, I think, are all really working. And that kind of goes back to what we were saying before about breaking it up. Wear the jacket with a lighter shirt. Wear the mock neck with jeans. That's kind of the fun you can have with a lot of these pieces.
Yep. Yeah. Absolutely.
A question about the boots. You mentioned the soles being no good, Matt. Is that because and David? Is that because they're slippy, or there's no grip, or in what sense?
They started to disintegrate upon the third wearing. I mean, I expect a little bit of pillage and things like that with those type of soles. Like I've got a pair of Playboy Chukkas that Steve McQueen wore. So with those type of soles, you get a little bit of pillage. This was literally chunks of it was coming out.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah. Fair enough. I think the day-night soles are just better. I mean, they do cost a lot more, but they are better soles.
It's like day and night.
Yeah. One thing we haven't touched on is Daniel Craig's haircut in this movie. This picture kind of really illustrates it. For whatever reason, whoever did his hair in this film, they should get an Oscar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's got great hair here.
I think
whoever did it in
Skyfall
should be shot.
Yes, Skyfall was not good. We'll get to that because Kyle, maybe you can bring that up for Quantum as well, because it is interesting to think what is his best haircut. But this was an interesting one. We've got to talk about this, and I'd like to talk about the whole outfit because you really don't get a very clear view until you start to break it out or go to Matt Spazer's website. But Matt, in this case, we're going to talk to you. You really don't get a great sense here, but what do you think of this outfit? And what is this outfit?
So it's a three-piece Damier check suit from Tom Ford. It's like a very, they call it the color anthracite. It's like it's a dark gray. It's a beautiful fabric. I remember when seeing this one in person. It's very unusual type of check. It's bigger than a houndstooth check, but it's very subtle. So I think it's beautiful. I like the blue shirt with it. With the black Thomas pink tie. I think he's doing a lot right with this look, and it's interesting because Bond is wearing a three-piece suit for fun. He's not working. That's also not really. It's because it's a check. It makes it a little sportier. So, but it's a three-piece suit, and so it just shows that it's something that Bond wants to wear. Bond wants to wear a three-piece suit for himself. It shows that he loves wearing suits. Something that it's kind of like it's almost telling us, it's something that when he first met Vesper, he didn't really care for wearing suits, and it's kind of shows that the growth of the character.
Yeah, it's really it's incredible. There's a lot of people that do not like this. I have a feeling it's the pattern. Panel, anybody can jump in. Like, love, don't care, forgot it.
All right. The greatest heartbreak of my life has nothing to do with a woman. I was at the Tom Ford outlet in the Woodbury Commons and found this suit, this exact suit. Fell in love with it. But it was a 56 long, and it was on sale for a third of the price. Now, I know Tom Ford tailors can work miracles. There's no way this is going to fill out a 56 long, and I had to just let it go, and I hope it found a home with another Bond fan who's of much larger stature. I love this suit. This might be my favorite suit that Daniel Craig has ever worn.
Really?
Yeah, I love it.
More than your Mexico City one.
Well, the Mexico City one has a special place in my heart too, but I already have it, so I don't need it.
Oh, so this is like your coveted holy grail. Like if you saw it on eBay one day, you'd be like, I don't care, I want it.
I would grab this suit in a heartbeat. Wow.
Anybody else have an opinion on it?
I would say I would grab any of the suits from this film if I could, first off. But before I say something and trip myself up, this is the same suit he wears in the previous scene to this, where he goes and he comes down in the elevator and queues there and he's like, I need one thing. Yeah. It's the same suit, right? Yeah. First off, I didn't realize it was a three-piece. And second off, I think throughout this film, when you've got a wider shot, you don't pick up on any of the patterns that these suits have. And it's not until you get a close-up shot like this, where he's sat in the Aston, that you actually get to see and visualize the pattern that the fabric has. And having said that, I do like it. And it's one that I would happily wear myself.
The chat is afire with old man, professorial, grandchild, grandpa going to Kyle's like, you're wrong.
You're wrong.
Kyle, you're an old soul. I mean, Luke, I can't see you in this.
No, I love this. I absolutely love it. And I think it's a shame that this suit, we see so little of it, and yet it's probably the only time in the entire film you actually get to see the pattern of the suit. You know what I mean? Because of how the filter and everything.
That's a really good point.
Yeah. So look at how just blatant that pattern is in this picture. But three-piece suit. It's the O'Connor again. Notch lapel. He looks fantastic in it. And and like to Kyle's point, back to a blue shirt. I think he did it perfectly.
This is the RGT jacket of Spectre. Blink and you miss it.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Maybe not as accepted as RGT.
That's true.
Well, true.
And that too.
Yeah. Well, there's something about that suit, because people were talking about it being old manish or teaching at Oxford, but that suit is not like a tweed check suit. When you see it in person, it is completely different. It's a very smooth. It's a fairly flashy suit. It really. I think it's not like any traditional suit. It's not. I've really never seen anything else quite like it.
That's where I think that, as I said previously, the color grade throughout this film doesn't do the suits justice and the patterns at all.
Yeah.
What's
I agree.
special about that suit is, and I'm asking people to remember all the way back to 2014, 2015, when Tom Ford launched the capsule collection for Spectre, we saw all of the tailored looks except for this one. This one was a surprise. This wasn't in any of the Tom Ford materials. So it was kind of like, hey, there's a suit that shows up in the movie that nobody knew about until we actually saw the movie.
Yeah.
There's
Throw
a
in
lot
the
of
watch. Throw in the vintage watch too. It
That
just
too.
it just says a lot about
That was a nice moment.
Bond's
There
style.
was a suit
Yeah.
of materials that wasn't in the film. Do you remember that a cotton twill suit, David?
Oh yes, that's right.
It's like a
That's
beige
right.
suit.
I remember that one too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So gentlemen, we've kind of gone through it. We got a couple more little exercises to go yet, so don't get too comfortable. But quickly, what I'd love to do is go around. Yes, Mark, you may have to recap.
It's my German 3, it's third.
Nice. You're going to sleep well tonight, my friend.
I hope so.
Yeah. So question, because I know I went through this as I was preparing for this live stream and putting together the PowerPoint and watching the film. I fell in love with the clothes from this film and thought to myself, it may not be the film that I want to watch from beginning to end, but damn, I got a closet full of great clothing that's just classic, that are heirloom pieces. But here's the question. I'm not going to make it that easy. Do you feel like now that you've gone through this exercise even tonight and you compare it to No Time to Die, that in 5 to 6 years, you'll revisit the No Time to Die wardrobe and feel the same way? And Matt, we're going to go to you first.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I think this was the kind of wardrobe that I liked. It had a classic Bond look to it in many ways, except for the fit of some of the suits. I think Gianni Tamim did a fantastic job, choosing so many wonderful pieces for this. But yeah, as for for me, get Tom Ford for me, for this suit, the fit.
I agree. Mark, since you were just called out, what do you feel? I mean, you think No Time to Die is? What do you think? It's going to have that nostalgic moment we're having tonight.
I hope so. I sincerely hope so. And I know there's a lot of hate. I know there's a lot of. I'm gonna set myself up here, but I know there's a lot of hate for the Rain 2, the Massimo Alba Duster jacket, or not hate necessarily, but not seeing how it kind of fits within the film as such. But I love that jacket, and I've worn that with this very sweater. I think both films are aging well. Like, I watched Spectre today before doing this, and watching it on a proper TV, you certainly pick up on things that you miss in details and patterns and things with the fabric. And I think that will probably be the same with No Time to Die as well. I hope anyway. I can live in hope, but the ending won't grow on me any more than it has done already. But that's another story.
Agreed. Kyle, what about you? How do you feel about it?
I tell you what, there's one thing missing from the Spectre wardrobe, and that's some sort of tropical beachwear bathing suit look. Other than that, a man could build his entire wardrobe with the Spectre pieces. I mean, we've got 3 or 4 beautiful suits, a black tie look, a leather jacket, casual slacks, jeans, chinos. This could be a man's capsule collection if it had some sort of summer look.
There is, Kyle, there is the Oliver Brown shirt.
That's true.
So that's if you didn't have the jacket over the shirt, you would have a lot of.
Well, you have this shirt too, but
some sort of swim trunk. That's all we need.
Yeah,
and
just that's it.
You could build an entire wardrobe out of this film.
To me, Spectre, if No Time to Die is a better summer capsule, Spectre is definitely the winter capsule.
Totally, completely agree.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
got some of the best winter outfits, even what he wears in Rome. I mean, you could wear that kind of all the way through. Luke, how
Absolutely.
are you feeling? What do you think? No Time to Die is going to hit that nostalgic
No,
resonance?
I agree with Matt. When you said it, I looked at Matt first to see if he was going to shake his head, but I was getting ready to do it, but I let him do it. I just, I think one of the main things is I think a lot of people forget that we had been seeing these looks from No Time to Die 2 years before we even saw the film. So it's already had half its time for us to kind of go back. We've been stewing in it for a while.
And there were no surprises.
Which is even more, a huge pain point. But yeah, I think Spectre and Quantum style-wise stand on their own. And I think people will debate which is better. There's better fit in Quantum and there's different styles in Spectre, but I think those two are in a league of their own.
I love it. All right. Well, gentlemen, and everybody in the chat room, one of the wonderful side effects of the very first one that we did, the No Time to Die with this panel, was that a lot of the brands and some of the more official merchandising of James Bond noticed that this had a certain amount of gravitas to it. And so tonight we're going to be actually giving away 2 items that the 007.com store and Factory Entertainment have pulled their resources and thought, what could we possibly give away that would be Spectre oriented?
Wow.
And it was kind of a dust statement. So here's what I'd like everybody to do in the chat room. Fortunately, the panelists are not allowed. But in the chat room, if you could just simply put your email. That's it. That's all you have to do is put your email. What we're going to do is we're going to scroll through once the emails start to come up, and we are going to choose at random one of you to win the skull, and it'll be shipped to you anywhere in the world. And one of you is going to win the cane. You can't win both, unfortunately. And while you are all putting your the Red Velvet Shoe Bond Girl Vintage says, will you delete them later? Will you delete what later? You mean your emails?
I think the emails, because they're going to be public. They're going to be for everyone to see if it's in the chat.
Actually, the chat won't exist, though. So only this exists. But you've got a good point. Yes, so your email will be seen. It will be public. If that makes you feel comfortable, please do not participate. If you want to take a risk that somebody strange is going to show up to your door and you're going to get a skull mask, then you can do that too. So there's a bit of risk, like James Bond.
I won't be long.
Oh, if you were James Bond, I think you'd use a burner email.
Oh, I like that, Matt.
Oh,
like that.
Like I just did
done this before.
While people are doing that, one of the things that I'm going to do to kind of burn a little bit of time is I always do this, and I will always do this, and it's the wish list game. So, Luke, we're going to start with you. It can't be something you own from this movie, but if Barbara Broccoli said, you know something, love your stuff, you can have one item. It could be an accessory, it could be sunglasses, it could be a suit. It can't be a car. That's where we draw the line. What are you choosing from this movie? And everybody's going to play this game.
Well, I'll go.
And by the way, sorry, real quick.
Yeah.
I will choose a name. I know a lot of people are uncomfortable about an email. Probably was not well thought out by me. So yes, I will choose a name randomly. So all of you that want to participate, just put the phrase, the dead are alive. And I know that you want to participate. So just put the dead are alive and I'll choose a name and get in touch with you later. Okay, sorry, Luke, go ahead.
Wait, I got to update with my burner account. The dead are alive. Ken Adams says the dead is alive. I think based off of my obvious, it would be the Mexico City suit. So for something different, just for variety's sake, I will go that 3-piece suit from Rome.
Ooh, nice.
I'll do that one.
Any particular reason, or?
It's just, I don't know why. I just get like Godfather Part 2, like 1919, you know what I mean? Like early 1900s mafia, and it's just so badass to me. And then just, I guess, more funerals to go to or something.
I like that.
I don't know when else I'm going to wear it, but that's mine.
Kyle, what about you? What's your one wish?
Monica Bellucci.
I'm sorry. Ray already claimed that.
Those are the only
Yeah.
rule. No, if it had to be clothing, it's got to be the 3-piece from the epilogue at the end.
Nice.
Oh,
In my size, 42 regular.
58 long.
Interesting how you guys are all going suits. I like this. Matt, what about you?
Yeah, I might choose that suit from the end as well. The Tangier check suit.
Oh, nice.
I really do like that one.
Wow.
I like that.
But the 56 long would not have fit you.
No, you have to put me on the rack.
Matt, are you living in a bad neighborhood? Because the sirens have not stopped.
Well,
Or is
Poor
it
Matt.
Jim calling you to bed?
Poor
yeah,
man.
they're coming for me.
Yeah.
Matt! Mark, what about you?
Do you know what? I was thinking about that whilst everyone was giving their answers, and then I realised you said no cars because I wasn't going to say the Aston. Although I wasn't going to say the Aston. I was going to say one of the Defenders. But if I had to pick a different item, then I would probably pick the suit that Bond wore when he was kind of getting his the Smart Blood. I think.
Yep.
Yeah, I
think
love that one too.
It's a lovely piece.
One of us
good.
does that too.
It is a gorgeous suit.
The
Yeah.
more we talk about the suits, it is just such a shame how little you really got to see the pattern in the.
I know, right? I mean, it's like,
Really?
yeah. I would love to see the suits kind of lined up without a filter, so I could just appreciate them first off and then pick one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and if you did,
And if I did,
sorry. You know, if you did, I think you would. Yeah, you would have no idea you were looking at the same suits from the film.
Yeah.
exactly, yeah,
And,
exactly.
and they're all beautiful in person.
Yeah,
there's not
absolutely.
one that I wouldn't want, except
No.
for the dinner jacket.
Okay, so we are, luckily, the Dead or Alives are starting to slow down. Wow.
Wow.
I didn't realize there was that many people in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm literally going to scroll through and I'm going to choose one randomly. We'll see how much hate mail I get on this one. And if you're a good friend of mine, I'm going to pick somebody else. I'm so sorry.
Do you have a drum roll sound effect?
Good
Good enough.
So Dimitri, you have won the skull. So Dimitri, I would like you to email me at david@thebondexperience.com and we'll get your details. And now for the cane, hold on, wait for it. Create channel. Oh, he said it. Oh dear. What do I do with that? It's not cricket. It's not the Dead or Alive.
No.
Did he say the Dead or Alive though
It's
somewhere?
your show.
Oh, but this is what happens. You have this great party, and then you have this 3-second moment at the end, and then suddenly your Instagram blows up with hate.
You're so close.
All right, I'm going to have to pick somebody else. Oh my gosh.
I'm scrolling through to see if he said it. I can't find it, buddy. I'm sorry.
Create channel. If you did say it, please let me know if you said it because I would love for you to win. The cane. So let's wait a second. It's worth it. I know everybody's sitting on pins and needles.
Meanwhile, Mark, check out if you can find the Tom Ford capsule collection from when this movie was released. You can see really good photos in the right sizes.
Oh, he said choose another. Okay, here we go. I'm going to choose another. Oh, geez, I almost knocked down my glass.
What a guy.
Yeah, really. No
Wow.
kidding.
Oh, that's very generous. He could choose me if he wants.
Do you see I commented in there? I was like, the dead are alive? Just kidding.
Sean Mall wins the cane. They
Congratulations,
even put a
Sean.
skull, which is great. So, Sean, make sure you email me and
Well done.
I'll take care of you. In the meantime, I want to thank all of my wonderful, wonderful friends here. Look at these gentlemen, just absolutely amazing. Luke from Bond's apartment. We've got Kyle from Easy Smiles and Beginner Watches.
You like to say it that way, don't you?
What is it? Easy Watches and
Easy
Beginner
smiles and expensive watches.
Easy Kyle, and Easy something.
As in October.
Back to that. We've got Matt
Yeah.
Spazer from Bond Suits and from Tailors with Love. And we've got Mark from A Views with Mark. Oh my gosh, thank you for joining us all and staying up so late. What is that?
Yes.
94
That's
o'clock.
it's 94 or 49 minutes. It's 10 to midnight. It's 10 to 1
It's
in the morning.
49
here.
o'clock.
It is.
Then I'll see you in 2 hours.
That's fine. That's fine with me. I'll do this again happily.
Everyone, just remember one thing. We'll return. Matt, mute. That was perfect, though. We will return with the Bond-style happy hour just when you need a drink and just when you need to return to Skyfall. Everybody, take care. Have a great evening, day. Take care.
See you guys. Bye.